Hi, John. My name is Melissa Chapman. This video will go over the results of the assessments you took on March 1st, 2005. You took 4 assessments that were all about the same length, but that each had a different point of focus. Today, I'll be discussing the results of your assessments and going over recommended next steps. This video is intended to be a brief overview, so please feel welcome to put together any questions, thoughts, or feelings that you'd like to discuss with Dr. Smith during your next session. Dr. Smith will also be collaborating with you about creating your timeline and plan for your next steps. One of the assessments you took was the Beck scale for suicide ideation. This assessment included 21 statement groups. You rated each group using a 3-point scale from 0 to 2. This means that the score for the Beck scale for suicide ideation can range from 0 to 38, such that higher scores are associated with higher levels of suicide ideation. Your final score was a 2, meaning that the majority of your answers did not endorse suicide ideation. For instance, you indicated that you have never attempted suicide and that you have no desire to kill yourself. It is important to note, however, that the Beck scale for suicide ideation does not distinguish between degrees of suicide risk. Your total score of a 2 occurred because you did endorse or choose a sentence rated 1 or 2 for item 1, wish to live, and item 3, reasons for living or dying. By themselves, these 2 endorsements do not necessarily indicate that you are at risk for committing suicide. However, on the Beck Depression Inventory, which is a 21-item assessment where you rated items on a 4-point scale from 0 to 3, your total score of a 32 indicates a severe range of depression, such that 29 to 63 is considered severe. During the Beck Depression Inventory, you endorse statements like, I am sad all the time, and I have lost most of my interest in other people or things. Also, though on the Beck scale for suicide ideation, you indicated that you have no desire to kill yourself. On the Beck Depression Inventory, you endorse the statement, I would kill myself if I had the chance. You also took the Beck Hopelessness Scale. This assessment is a 20-item self-report instrument for assessing hopelessness, particularly in relation to the risk of suicide. This is because hopelessness is a significant predictor of suicidality. Your total score of a 13 puts you in a moderate range of hopelessness. This is significant because in long-term studies, Beck hopelessness scores in the moderate and severe ranges have been found to be associated with significant risk for eventual suicide. The final assessment you took was the Beck Anxiety Inventory. This assessment included 21 items that you rated on a 4-point scale from 0 to 3. Your score of an 18 puts you in a moderate range of anxiety. On this assessment, you indicated that you have experienced things like moderate difficulty breathing and feeling hot within the last week. During your next session, Dr. Smith will go over these assessments in greater detail. He'll ask about things like the test environment, how well you understood the assessments, and if there's anything that could be done to make future assessments more comfortable for you. Because of your severe depression score, moderate hopelessness and anxiety scores, and the suicide ideation statements that you endorsed, the first recommendation will be to focus on monitoring and treating your potential risk of suicide. Please be aware that these assessments are not able to predict suicide. They are only able to indicate that there is a potential risk that needs to be addressed. Dr. Smith will work with you to create a plan that works for you to reduce your risk of suicide and for monitoring your progress. Thank you for your time.